Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, guys, girls, and non-binary pals. My name is Kate, as I'm certain most of you know. Yes, I'm about to play a level 344 character. Shut up. Stop judging me. Today, I wanted to talk about a character in Elden Ring that is probably the most, in my opinion, misunderstood character in the game, and who strangely is also probably one of the few characters who we get kind of a lot of information about in the story. There really aren't a lot of characters like that. And hi, Valkyrie. And so I think Radagon is interestingly quite unique in that regard, because we have like a lot of in-game dialogue surrounding Radagon. There are so many different items in the game that tell us about things that he did, places where he went, his feelings about things, his thoughts about things. Marika calling him a loyal dog and saying that he is not yet a god. We have this weapon here that is literally just his body. So what I wanted to do today to kind of sort of, I guess it's really clear what I was doing here, isn't it? Anyway, what I wanted to do today is talk about Radagon. But there's some other things I want to do as well. Hi, Sarieldra. I want to go pick up the sword in this cave of Radagon's, which was crafted after the, what do you call it, sword. But let's get away from this creepy music first, because it's giving me anxiety for no reason whatsoever. Let's go to this. Okay, so before I start talking about Radagon the way that, like, I want to, I want to open up about something. I've been thinking about Radagon quite a lot lately, and I understand that my thoughts in regards to Radagon are very unique. Unique is me being kind to myself. I understand that my thoughts on Radagon are controversial, and that people are probably going to angrily tell me that I'm wrong, and tell me that he's a dragon, and tell me that he's a misbegotten, and tell me that he's this or that, the other. People are gonna tell me I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that. Like, I have so many people telling me I'm wrong all the time. Like, that's fine. I'm not here to be correct. I was never here to be correct. What I'm here for is to explain my thoughts and opinions based on my interpretations of what I'm seeing in the game. And that is influenced by my lived experiences, by my interests, by my education, and of course by my flights of fancy. And hello, Enoch. So, now having laid down this disclaimer, I'm going to start off by kind of dropping a heavy hypothesis, I guess, on you. I think Radagon is the fell god. I think Radagon is the god of the sun. And I don't think that, like, definitely, I don't have it pinned down. I don't think, like, 100% he is this. But I think that it's a possibility that he might be. And I would like to explain why I think this, and why this has come to me recently, and why I think this enough that I'm going to talk about it in this stream and possibly make a video about it eventually. My first video is going to be a Centrina video. I'm basically going to make a video on that stream that I did of Centrina and the act of selflessness of Mikola, because I don't think enough people have been exposed to that idea, and that's what I want to say. But there's lots of things that, you know, I have said that I plan on making videos for, but this idea that I have not seen anyone else talk about or speculate upon, and I have a lot of reasons why I think it, but hi Ghostwriter. But yeah, so I just wanted to lay down my initial opinion, and I'm going to walk you through how and why I've come to this conclusion. So if you hate it and you outright reject it, you can go on. Now's your time to jump ship. But if you are interested in hearing how and why I've come to this conclusion, and interested in hearing what my opinion is in this regard, then by all means stay. Put on your tinfoil hats. Put on your Nox hats. Your Nox mirror helm with me. And let's do some Elden sleuthing. I'm gonna put my little thing back on. Yes, I'm not alive without it. But I want to first of all, I wonder, do I have the secret medallion? I do. Okay, so this stream is going to be structured strangely because I'm not going to spend the entire time that I'm trying to explain myself to you guys, showing you Elden Ring gameplay. But I do intend to show you some gameplay today. I also do intend to do a tiny bit of like mechanic, like showing you the mechanics of a build that I'm interested in playing around with in the game, which is also related to Radagon in a kind of way. And also okay, so as you know, there are loads of different lore creators who are in this community who have different things that inspire their takes on the story. For Center Tarnished, it's psychology. For Jack, for example, it's A Song of Ice and Fire and George R. R. Martin's books, etc., etc. There's always, you know, this music is creeping me out. We're gonna have to like We're gonna have to, because I'm just gonna be nervous and having anxiety and stuff. And it's election day and I just can't. I can't. So, anyway, like I was saying, oh yeah, look, Scum Mage Infa. It's tons of those little circles you were talking about. But, what was I saying? Yeah, so loads of different things inspire people to talk about different aspects of the game based on, you know, their interests. And one of the things that I have told everyone about that inspires my opinions or informs my opinions is geology and paleontology. And paleontology and geology are closely related to archaeology. So I am not as good as Tarnished Archaeologist and a Nameless Singer when it comes to sleuthing via in-game architecture, etc. And I'm certainly not as good as Scum Mage Infa. But I do see things that other people don't see. But it's namely things like the way that the artists and the game creators are expressing the geology in the world around us, and I feel like I was able to come to the same conclusion as Tarnished Archaeologist well before he ever spoke about it, well before the DLC dropped. So before we knew about the ships, like the giant coffin ships riding around on, you know, mobile Earth. So anyway, having said all of that, the reason why I'm saying it is because, like Jack, I'm a big fan of A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm a big fan of George R.R. Martin's other works. And I'm also, like, the music is just really creeping me out. It's not like I've never played this game before. I'm used to this game. But the music is fucking creeping me out because I'm just high stress today and very sensitive today because it's election day and I'm horrified. So anyway, just look at my window instead. The reason why I want to walk you all through this is because it helps you understand how and why I'm coming to the conclusions that I am with Radagon. But first, I think I would like for you to do some research right along with me. Yes, Ghostwriter. Yes, I love it. And yeah, I want to we'll get into that. But so I was thinking about Radagon, and I was thinking about the Eclipse, and I was thinking about Occam Onion's video, and I was thinking about Radagon being made of stone, and I was thinking about how you guys know my theory about, like, Marika stuffing aspects of the Elden Ring into the demigods, and how the demigods aren't actually, this is my opinion, aren't actually her children, but instead are aspects of herself that she has removed from herself. And instead of, like, cloning herself or, like, whatever, she's not just, like, shitting out demigods. She's breaking off great runes from the Elden Ring, which she is the vessel for. And when she does that, those great runes are housed in aspects of herself, which are the demigods. And an example of this, and the trend that I'm going to walk us down, is Melania and the god of rot, or the Melania's great rune, which is rot related. Um, Melania's great rune looks like rot. It is all these things. We know that the lore behind that is that the god of rot was defeated by a water dancer and then sealed away, quote unquote. I believe that it was sealed away inside of Melania, and I've spoken about this multiple times. So understanding that, and then now we have Melina, who saw fire and is the sister of Mesmer. We don't know that 100%, but everybody's like come to that conclusion via the item descriptions, in-game descriptions, associated with having defeated Mesmer. So I think we're all comfortably under the impression that Melina is Mesmer's sister, and that regardless of who the quote mother is, unquote, that Radagon is in some way related to definitely Mesmer, and thereby also Melina. And the interesting thing about Melina is she moves like a Newman. She has like the weak legs with the knees that point inward and a strange gait, just like the Black Knife Assassins. She fights just like a Black Knife Assassin, but all of her magic and all of her, like everything that has anything to do with her, it's giving Erdtree. It's giving Marika. So anyway, after having said all of this, it suddenly struck me that we are told that the Rot God was defeated and then sealed away. We know that the Abyssal Serpent was sealed literally with an ocular seal from Marika behind Mesmer's eye, and his eye was that ocular seal of Marika's. And it has like Marika's rune arc on the ocular seal. And so the Abyssal Serpent, shorn of light, is sealed away inside of Mesmer. But Mesmer got his fire from somewhere. Not only did he get his fire from somewhere, but Melina also has the ability to manipulate fire, and she got that from somewhere. Somehow, Melina and Mesmer's flame is very closely associated with the Fell God, right? And I've been turning this over in my head, and we know that like Radagon kind of pops up out of nowhere, and it seemingly happens after the giants in the north are defeated by Marika, right? Before that, we don't really hear anything at all of Radagon. We also don't hear anything at all of Mesmer or Melina or anyone else, because this is the age in which Marika is still using Godfrey to be like her warlord and conqueror. So all of this is happening, and then we're led to believe that Marika defeats the Fell God, right? Well, okay, but then what? So the Rock God got sealed away inside of Melania. We know like the God of Death got sealed away, probably inside of Godwyn, and the God of this got sealed away inside of that person. The God of the moon got sealed away inside of Ronnie, which is fascinating because that brings me to a whole other thing with Ronnie, and how Renala was basically I mean, she holds not only a rune thing, but also a remembrance. And you start seeing that, like, Renala's basically a demigod, even though she's not. So is it possible that Renala could have been a candidacy for godhood? And such is the extent of her incredible power. Because, it's made very clear to us that the Carrion Knights, who were only like a dozen, fewer than 20, I think is the way it's worded, and Renala were able to hold back the Golden Host. And that's when, Radagon, like, seduces her and they end up in a marriage together. Now, there's something really interesting I want to point your attention toward. In A Song of Ice and Fire, there's a whole bunch of different houses, and they all have sigils, and they all have, like, meaning and are in some way, significant to the story of A Song of Ice and Fire. If we look at, like, what the sun represents in A Song of Ice and Fire, we see that the sun is most notably on the sigil of House Martell, who are the Dornish people who have come to Westeros from Essos a long time ago, from their native lands around the Rhoynar. The Rhoynar is this river that they used to be very closely connected to, and had, like, waterbender magic associated with the river. The other really cool thing about the river Rhoynar is that inside the river Rhoynar are giant tortoises, giant turtles, and they're, like, super wise, etc., etc. So literally Muriel, right? And the other thing that's really cool is the delineation between, like, the Riverlands and Liurnia, and how similar those things are. And Jack has also drawn the parallel between the colours of, like, Renala, who is blue and red, and House Tully, who are the Riverlands people, whose sigil is a fish, and the colours are red and navy blue. So, so the reason why I'm pointing all of this out is because one of the biggest places where the sun is a thing is associated with House Martell, and House Martell is associated with the Rhoynar, and the Rhoynar is associated with giant turtles and a river, and that all makes you think of Muriel, the giant tortoise, and Liurnia, the marshlands, or like it's supposed to be Liurnia of the lakes, right? So very similar parallels. Now I want to draw your attention to House Tarth. The thing about House Tarth is you are probably most familiar, most of you here, with Brienne of Tarth. The interesting thing about Brienne of Tarth was she was very tall, she was very strong, she was very able-bodied, and she was also very noble. And she was like the kind of person that just did, quote, what was right all the time. She was a good person. And she, hold on, Seb, Kate, and chat. I finally beat Melania after like 6 hours. Hope you're doing well. Hi. Nice to see you joining the chat. And congratulations on having beaten Melania. But yes, so Brienne of Tarth. She is also related to, she's an ancestor of, no, one of her ancestors is Duncan the Tall, who is from Dunk and Egg, the Tales of Dunk and Egg, the Hedge Knight. And if we know anything about him, he chose a sigil that was like a tree in a field and la 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 la. Well, the Tarth sigil, look at it. Blue and red, like Renala. A sun and a moon, like Renala and Radagon. Red sun. Red sun, like a sun on a red background. And if we go back to House Martell, it's a red sun on like an orange background. The significance of this is that I start connecting that the sun is red, like red and sun. But not only red and sun, but also Renala colors, okay, yes, but also Roina. The Roina and the river and the large tortoise and all of this stuff. So granted, all of this is me going by vibes, and all of this is me, completely reading out. It's all meta, but this is the kind of thing George likes to do. He likes to sprinkle clues in, and he likes for you to be able to put it together. Okay, Scott, we'll see you later, Scott. So I believe the other really interesting thing about this is so Radagon, when he's with Renala gives him this sword of the moon. It's like this ancestral family sword, and it's the sword of the moon. Well, when Radagon leaves Renala and returns to Marika, he reforges that sword. And when you see what that sword looks like, I'm probably not going to be able to do this by myself, by the way, because I'm just so nervous. When you see what that sword looks like, it literally has a sun on it, and it's made of golden runes. I know. I know that everything I'm saying is like probably hard to follow and definitely very like out there, but I think that George was trying to tell us something by doing that. I think he was trying to tell us that Radagon I hear something behind me. Anyway, that Radagon is of the sun. Bear with me a moment while I do stuff that I'm afraid of. Okay, I'm just trying to get through here like relatively swiftly, so don't judge my gameplay. I'm in like new game +3. So I'm playing a bit like a coward, and I don't care. Shut up. We're here for law. That's what we're here for. But anyway, so yeah, so I was putting all these pieces together, and I have come to the conclusion that the mysteriousness by which Radagon appears may be because, so Marika tells, well, Marika doesn't tell anybody anything, but we are made to believe that Marika defeated the Fell God, that she like slew it or whatever. I think the word slain is used. But what we know about Marika in her defeat of like nearly everybody, including I believe the Glowmide Queen, when she has defeated them, she doesn't kill them. Like, for example, the Abyssal Serpent. And I think the reason why is because I think they can't die. That's just what I think. And the reason why I think that is, you know, just because I'm stupid. Don't judge me. Yes, Valkyrie, the Fell God was felled. But anyway, so I kind of think that am I going the right way? I kind of think that Radagon is the god of the sun. And I think that all of this happened roughly around the same time as like the eclipse, and I think the eclipse in the past had to happen at a certain time in order for I need to go here. In order for thingamabobby. Hold on, let me get to a safe place to stop so I can articulate my thoughts better. So, if you guys don't know who Occam's Onion is, I very highly recommend his video on the eclipse. He talks about how Faramazula was once like part of the mainland, and I agree with that, and how the Shadow Realm was once part of the Lands Between, and I think we can all agree with that. And he talks about how the eclipse was an actual thing that occurred, and when the eclipse happened, the light that shone from the eclipse drained things of color. It drained like dragon scales of color. The dragons used to be golden, beautiful, incredibly beautiful golden dragons with skin of gold instead of white stone. But they were touched by this eclipse, and it drained them of color and turned them to stone. It also petrified a lot of the trees up in Faramazula. Then you can literally see some of the trees, like half of their leaves are red and half of their leaves are white. And like the trunk of the tree, like half of it is petrified and the other bit of it is actually still made of wood. So some of the symbology that we see in Elden Ring, I think, is the same sort of symbology that we see from George. I don't think it's actually someone's pelvis. I think it looks like that for a reason, to indicate a thing and to make us think in the back of our heads about pelvises, and to think about someone in particular's pelvis, but it's not actually a pelvis. It is literally just the world or whatever. Like, I don't think that the map of the game is a giant fetus. And I know that some people do, and other people think like it's a cerebral cortex or whatever. And I also don't think that. I think that the map is the crust of the world, and I don't think it's part of anyone's psyche and blah 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 blah. Those aren't bad theories. I'm not shitting on them. They're good theories. Brilliant stuff. People who made it up. But I think that we're meant to draw those similarities. George likes to layer things, like layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of things that are this way for a reason. And I know also Miyazaki likes to do that too. And so we are going to notice things that one or the other or both of them are wanting us to notice, but it doesn't mean that the world is Marika's brain or somebody's baby or anything else like that. We're just supposed to be thinking about those things. Yes, I fully agree with you, Blackman. And let me see what Arbizo said. Arbizo says, could it be that the Glowmite Queen became the sword associated with her? I had to step away for a moment, so I apologize if you already brought that up. It could be the case, but I'm not going to speculate too much about the Glowmite Queen right now, because I want to focus on Radagon, and I kind of want to stay focused on that kind of stuff. Regardless, Miquella's corpse has grown for some reason, and it rests in a giant pelvic bone. Whose and why? Oh, okay. So anyway, those are all the reasons that got me like speculating as to all of the possible connections between Radagon and the Sun, Radagon and the Felgard. The giants having red hair and everything, and Radagon hating his red hair. Like, your initial thought would be something along the lines of, I'm hearing weird noises. But anyway, your initial thought would be something along the lines of, that Radagon is a giant. But it's clear that Radagon is not a giant. But, if we look at the way beings in this world age from, like... What is that noise? Sorry, I'm... Oh, that's what it is, okay. Anyway, in ancient times, people were massive. They were like these giant titan things, and they were absolutely huge. So it's kind of hard to say who is a giant and who isn't, because we have people of all different sizes. Like Renala, for example, is massive. There's all kinds of stuff going on with the sizes of people and whatnot. Also, just FYI, I normally engage with chat like a whole lot, but I'm never going to be able to get these thoughts out if I'm like constantly looking at the thousands of ideas that you guys are tossing out. Disclaimer, I'm autistic, and if I constantly am distracted by your questions and your thoughts and everything, I'm never going to be able to get my ideas out. And that's literally why the channel exists, so I could get my ideas out. So I'm going to kind of ignore you for a little bit. And I mean that in the most kind and lovely way. Also, there's a drake in here. It's not a dragon, it's a drake. But anyway, the more I kind of look into sun symbology and everything, when it comes to A Song of Ice and Fire, the more I started seeing parallels between characters in Elden Ring that are associated with things associated with the moon and the sun, and like the colors and even the world, like the geography and everything like that. So, and I realize I'm not articulating this very well, but kind of don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, I care a little bit because I would like for you to understand what I'm saying, but anyway, another thing that I thought was really fascinating is House Carstock. Do you guys know who the Carstocks are? They are a minor lord's house. They are the bannermen of the Starks, but they are also frequently disloyal to the Starks, because it's like an age-old thing, and it's a jealousy thing. It's like, oh, we should have been the Starks or whatever, blah blah blah. But they actually share blood, and they're like related or whatever. It's just they're just cunts. But the interesting thing about the Carstocks is their sigil is the Sun of Winter, which is a white sun on a black background. Do we have anything like that in Elden Ring? Why, yes, we do. It's literally the motherfucking Eclipse. It's the motherfucking Eclipse. Also, who is our Bezozoran? Do I know you? Because I don't recognize your name, and I feel bad about it. I feel bad about it. I also don't know who Colt is. But hello guys and welcome. Yeah, I normally do engage with chat more. I normally would like try to answer your questions and stuff like that, but I'm so like I just got off of a 12-hour shift. It's election day. I want to get these thoughts out, and I'm just barely able to like executively function right now. Oh, okay. Well, welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining us. I'm excited to include you in our community, in our discussions. But yeah, so the Carstocks with this sigil that reminds me so much of the Eclipse Shotel and the Eclipse Great Shield, and literally the Eclipse in Elden Ring, and the fact that it's a sun drained of color. And I'm really fascinated to know if at any point George describes it that way. But what I would like to do just a little bit is look through this to see if we can see if there's like an excerpt somewhere of when George describes it. So Gregor Clegane's charge against a double crescent of Carstock spearmen waiting behind a tall oaken shields. No. Okay, families with ties to House Hornwood through the female line, and that's one of the houses interested in the inheritance of Hornwood lands after the deaths of Lord Hallis Hornwood and his heir Darren. Lord Carstock campaigns with Robb through the Westerlands, driving a lance through Sir Stafford Lannister's chest at the Battle of Oxcross. Interested to see if at any point at the end of the 3rd century they had Stark blood in them, going back hundreds of years, but they did not look like Starks to Bran. We are kin, Stark and Carstock. I am more inclined to bestow Winterfell. Scratch a Carstock and you'll find a Stark. Okay, there's nothing like super definitive. There's nothing like the kind of thing that I was looking for, but I definitely think that this is meaningful, because it's literally House Martell's sigil, just drained of color and without the spear. And if we go back to Brienne of Tarth, we have the Tully colors, which are also Rennala colors. And if we're thinking about Rennala, we're thinking about moons. And who does Rennala marry? She marries Radagon, who was red of hair and turned her moon sword into a sun sword. So I'm starting to think that, like, the reason, like, it's, to me, it's pointing to the very real possibility that Radagon is the sun god, and that the sun god is what they're calling it, the fell god. And the reason why they're calling it the fell god is because the sun god fell, just like Valkyrie said. Like, literally, it sounds funny and stupid and silly, but the fell god is the god of the sun who fell. I think Godwyn is less related to the sun and more related to the eclipse. But I've already explained what relates Godwyn. I'm sorry, what relates Radagon to the sun, and I feel like if I if I keep repeating myself, I'll go nuts. Oh no, this is one of those. Ah. I feel like, so the sword that I'm here to get is another example of what I'm talking about. For some reason, after Radagon leaves Rennala, he turns that very special, very significant moon sword into a sword made of runes with what looks like, to me, a golden sun halo. Oh look, a Mikola lily. And like I said, you know, I'm not here to say that I know something that nobody else knows and that I'm special and that this is the absolute truth and I know something you don't know. That's not what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is going with my instincts. and like following a line of wonderment that I've just kind of pulled out of my arse. But what's fascinating is in this community, when we're like doing lore theories and stuff, there are a lot of examples of people making up a theory and then finding enough evidence inside the game to kind of back their theory up, and so then they become even more convinced of their theory, which is fun and interesting and you know, possibly true. I don't know where the final boss is. And I'm so bloody scared of this game. I just really want to get the sword, but I'm also really scared that I'm gonna die trying to get the sword because I'm not very good at soloing. And is he in there? Why did so many people die right here? Why did so many people die? Maybe because there's two of those? Hi, baby computer. Oh. Consecrated scaling is no joke. Yeah, especially on New Game Plus 3. And I'm like just scared of everything. I'm just so tense right now. I'm so tense. I hope everyone has voted and voted properly. And if you haven't voted and you are registered to vote and you're in my chat, please go vote, unless you're going to vote for him, and then don't. But if you're going to vote for her, please go do it. Please go vote. Today is the day. So obviously it's not this way. Are the Leonine retrieving swords for a reason? Are they supposed to reflect some aspect of Radagon? The Leonine retrieving swords. I don't know what you mean by the Leonine retrieving swords. Oh, do you mean like how they collect them or whatever? They always collect weapons. I feel like I'm going to die. Oh god. I'm sorry, I'm only doing it because I know you're aggressive already. That makes me feel awful, knowing that these are children. The spirits of children. Well, they could be anyway. We don't know for certain that they are. There are so many Mikla lilies in here. We do, black man. We really fucking do. That's kind of true, Cult. But, one of them needs to be expelled. So, I mean, to be honest, they all do, but one of them is more dangerous than the other. But anyway, we're here to talk about Elden Ring. Sorry, I brought up the voting. Oh yeah, but let me just say this, Cult. This community is woke as fuck because that's the way I've cultivated it. I am woke as fuck. So if you don't like wokeism, if you don't like leftyism, if you are, you know, one of those kinds of people, you really probably won't find any happiness or peace here. And I don't recommend myself to anyone who's not at least tolerant of leftyism. And also cult. Like, when I say things like voting for the right person, etc., blah, 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 I'm purposefully wording it that way as like a joke, but like I do actually feel like there is an incorrect person to vote for. So, and I feel that way unapologetically. Hi, baby. Sure. Yes, because I'm not here to debate politics. I'm here to talk about law and stuff like that and the things that interest me. And for this to be a safe space for me to have my thoughts and opinions. And for other people who you know, for like-minded people to also have a safe place for their thoughts and opinions. So if you want to call it an echo chamber, I welcome you to call it that. But I just, you know, don't think that that's a very, I don't know, charitable way of describing my community. But that's fine. You don't have to be charitable to me. You don't know me and I don't know you. Oh. Oh! Got absolutely destroyed. Well, like I said, you know, I think the way you're characterizing it, you know, like an echo chamber or whatever, would be like if I only wanted to surround myself with only people who thought like me and that's it. And and I were creating like a YouTube channel to talk about politics, and I only let people in who think the way that I think, that would be that, in my opinion. What I'm doing here is talking about fantasy and pop culture and stuff like that, and making sure that it's a safe place for me to have my opinions, where I'm not going to have some MAGA chud come in and be a misogynist at me, or be anti-queer at me or my audience, or be anti-trans at multiple people in my audience who are trans. So instead, I want this to be a safe place where me and my community can be opinionated, without being accosted. What I mean is, um, I'm just gonna say this, and then I'm gonna stop trying to explain myself to you, because I don't owe you the explanations, and I feel like, I don't know, like you're a bit standoffish, and it's fine for you to be that way, but that's just not the energy that I'm trying to bring. All I'm saying is, I think that you won't enjoy my space here, because I say a lot of lefty things, and I feel strongly about the lefty things, and I protect my audience and my community that I've cultivated, who are themselves very lefty. They're queer people, they're women, etc. And this is a safe space for us. So if you don't vibe well with queer people and women and lefties, then this might not be the space for you, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything other than that. Well, you know, my chosen sibling is a centrist, scum mage, invert, and I don't see eye to eye on everything. You know, I'm not somebody who like squashes dissent. I'm not like somebody who can't listen to people who have different thoughts and ideas. But this is my space, and in my space are other people who are marginalized and don't want to deal with misogynists and anti-trans and anti-queer people being shitty and bigots, and so that's why this is a safe space for us, and I'm always going to kind of like uphold that. And if it loses me, you know, audience members, good riddance, because I don't want bigots in my audience and in my community. And I do want the people in my community who are queer and, you know, everything else to feel safe. So if you want to call that an echo chamber, or whatever you want to call it, that's fine with me. I don't care. I just want for my people to feel safe, because this channel was literally made for, you know, queer people to have queer opinions and women and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like I'm gonna get wrecked. I'm so scared. No, and I wasn't saying that cults. Like I said, I feel like I feel like you're ready for me to be like attacking you or something, and that's not the case. I was simply letting you know that this is a safe space for us, and hoping that you vibe well with it. That's all. It was just like a forewarning, I guess. Not a threat. I don't think I can do this by myself. Yeah, Colt. Like, don't feel threatened. I'm not like telling you you're not welcome. I'm not telling you you don't fit. Like I said, somebody who frequently is on my channel and in my streams with me, who's my chosen sibling, is a centrist who doesn't see things the way that I do, and I love this person. So it's not like I said, it's not like I squash dissent or whatever. I'm just simply telling you that this is a safe space for queer people and women, and that's it. So, and lefties, and I hope you can vibe with that, that's all. So I guess the relevance is that sometimes we'll talk about things like, you know, wanting Kamala Harris to be president, etc. Sometimes we're going to talk about how much more evil Trump is than Kamala, because that's how we see things. And it's fine for you to not see things that way. I'm just forewarning you. And I feel like I'm like way over explaining this and it's unnecessary. I don't know if I can do this, guys. I don't know if I can. Jesse. I don't know if I can. I might need help. But last time I was just so scared. Like the first time I came in here I wasn't that scared and I did okay. Now I'm like fucking scared. And I'm doing really poorly. Maybe I should get a heal out. Have the heal ready. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Oh? When is it my turn to attack? Why don't you come help me, Enoch? Because I don't think I do have it. At New Game +3, it's a lot. Should I maybe use a shield? When is it my turn sums up Elden Ring? What does that mean? Okay, I might try to use my mimics here and see how far that gets me. No, I'm on PC. Yes, if you are New Game Plus anything, it's harder, but the higher up you go with the New Game Pluses, the harder it gets. Things do more damage and have more HP. Uh-oh, I just got an innocent bystander. Oh, yes. That's true. It is hard to find openings. Fuck. Not again! Oh! Alright. Oh, she just debuffed me. Oh, she's gonna kill him. Yay, we fucking did it! Yay! Okay, this is what I wanted. So that I can show you what I was talking about. It's also interesting that Marika doesn't come up with the Golden Order until later. And even like the Golden Order sigil has like a sun, multiple suns really. But there is a circle directly in the center of that triangle. I do need help. I hate that that happened. Like, my back hurts now and it's your fault. Their blood is poisonous like the dancing women in the windmill village. Still don't know what that's about, really. Yeah, cult. That's my theory as well. I think they're innocent children spirits. And I killed them. Cult power in King's blood is my theory. Hey, Valkyrie, that's really good. Made of light. Weighs 10. Does it weigh 10? I thought it had no weight for some reason. Yeah, weight 0. Oh, but you're talking about the sword. Oh. Where is the sword? There it is. Made of light. And do you see that ring around the middle, like a sun? And the pommel of the sword is like Marika's rune arc, but it's also kind of like a moon. Modelled after the Elden Ring itself, forged by King Consort Radagon to proudly symbolize the tenets of the Golden Order. Telltale signs betray that this was once the great sword bequeathed to him by his first wife, Renala. Who said they, and you're having that kind of reaction to it? Because if it was me, it wasn't they in a woke way. It was just me using a neutral pronoun, for no particular reason. But also that's the kind of rhetoric, by the way, that will get people banned. Like, no making non-binary people feel alienated. Oh, I see. Okay, so what's really cool is you can see Radagon's stitching rune, like his lattice rune, on the crossguard. Marika's rune arc on the pommel. In the Elden Ring. I believe it is Morgoth's that is a circle. Why am I going through the long way? Yeah, Morgoth's is circle, and it's right in the middle. Well, we don't know for sure that either thing was tossed down here. We know that the Misbegotten like to have these legendary weapons, because nearly every single one of them does have a legendary weapon. And we know that there were Misbegottens in the area because there were some in the Halig tree. And so this sword may have just been acquired, maybe from one of the times that Radagon was visiting Miquella, and maybe, just maybe, Radagon gifted this sword to Miquella, and Miquella, when he turned his back on fundamentalism, cast the sword away. And the sword fell into the possession of a Misbegotten who uses it and brings it down here. I'm also interested in watching this animation. So the fascinating thing about this is the only other place that we see like golden fire is from Placidusax and the Elden Beast. And am I seeing this properly? Is that golden flame on the sword? What do you think? I don't know, Valkyrie. He could be. You don't think it's flame? What do you think? It's Elden energy? That looks like fire to me. I also think it's interesting that, and I know it doesn't mean anything because we have other spells, you know, like the Erdtree thing where you blast people backward, and that goes out in a circle. But I'm just saying, like, for a sword of the sun to like have it literally does this, and all around you kind of look like a sun. If you could take a still of exactly the point where the burst happens, it looks like a sun. And it's also doing... Is that inner order? Or is it outer order? It's this one. And this is inner order. Inner order. Yeah, I agree, Black Man. Placidusax Golden Fire, this doesn't look like that. You're right, Pastor of Muppets. It doesn't look like Placidusax's Golden Flames. But it does look like gold, and it does look like fire. It looks wreathed in fire, just around the blade. That was the other thing that I wanted to kind of explore, is the interesting connection between these swords and these swords. And what's really funny, well, I mean, I don't think it's funny like haha, but what's interesting is that one of them says, where is that? Two swords as a single armament. When two-handing, a straight sword engraved with golden flame, will be carried in the left hand. Here and here alone were moon and fire ever together. Here and here alone were moon and fire ever together. But we know this is not moon and fire. This is night and fire. But when does the moon come out? The moon comes out at night. So what is this implying? Is it possible that this sword is older than this one? Astrologers who preceded the sorcerers established themselves on mountaintops that nearly touch the sky. The other thing that I really want to explore at some point, not today, I'm going to kind of allude to it, but not going to like spend a lot of time exploring it, is there, aside from the Rao ruins, there's one other type of ruins that's everywhere in the world. And the people who it's most associated with, it seems to me, are the Carians. But it's in literally every zone. Where does she spawn? There she is. The miserable cunt. Those are fun things to think about. And hi, Emperor Mist. Those are fun things to think about, Valkyrie. I don't know that we have a lot of evidence for a lot of different nuances in regards to the different types of what do you call it? Eclipses, etc. So do you see these ruins? This type of ruins? That's made out of like crude stone bricks. This type of ruins is everywhere on the map. Absolutely everywhere. Every single place in the lands between has ruins like this. From Caelid to Limgrave to the Weeping Peninsula. literally everywhere has ruins like this. Even in like this area, going up toward Volcano Manor, there's some of these ruins everywhere. So these people were at once like influential across the entire world, but we don't have anything that like tells us anything about these people. The only reason why I disagree with you, Colt, is because that there's no like here, I'll show you. They are older than their inhabitants, and they are associated with the Golden Road. Because so see the way this fence is crafted. This, or railway, or whatever you want to call it, guardrail. It's made of the same material, looks to be like the same age, crafted in the same type of way. I would venture to say that probably the same sort of people made that. And there's the Golden Road, which has an older sigil than like Marika's Erdtree, or Marika's, you know, Age of Abundance. It's older than that. It's older than the Golden Order. But the thing about these ruins is that they don't have any defining thing about them that sets them apart from every other ruins like them, which makes it easy to fall under the impression that they are just generic ruins. But I don't think that there are generic ruins in this game. I think that everything was intentional. I think that there is a people that we can connect these ruins to. And my greatest inclination is to think that they are associated with the Wraiths. I don't think so, Colt. I'm not hard pressed to do it. Because if you just follow the Gold Road, you keep running into these ruins. But the reason why I think that they might be associated with Wraiths is because at first I was thinking that they seem to be heavily associated with the Carians. But then I realized, well, the other thing that I keep thinking is associated with the Carians are the Wraiths. Because they're kind of like in the same area. But like these Wraiths are super old. And the other fun thing about these ruins and those Wraiths is so we can see them using this bell This summoning bell, this one. Oops, I keep scrolling past it. They're using this. And what's fun about that is that it's located within these ruins. It's right over here. If I can get up there. Yeah, thank you for the correction, Colt. The Wraith Callers are using the Wraith Bell. And this is where it comes from. And I'm just getting vibes that are associated with these ruins. And if you look in places that are heavily associated with Carians, for example, this castle, which I think was commandeered by the Carians. I don't think that it is literally like the Carian castle, but it's also heavily entrenched with those ruins. They're all over here. They're all over there. And then here, they're all over here. They're all over the, what is this called? The, whatever it is, the moonlight altar. Yeah, moonlight altar. I'm so tired. I am really sleepy. Hold on, what time is it? Yeah, I'm gonna have to end this soon. But anyway, I just wanted to get some of these thoughts out. Obviously, I'm scatterbrained and exhausted and over-explaining and under-explaining and using wrong words and la 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 la. But I think there's a lot of reason to think that these ruins aren't just generic, and that there's like a story to them, there's some significance to them. And I also think that there is some significance to the Sun Realm being associated with the Fell God, being associated with Radagon. And it's something I want to think more about and put more pieces together. And definitely use more A Song of Ice and Fire to kind of help me fill in the holes, and maybe guide me further, down this theory. But these are just thoughts I was having and stuff that I kind of, wanted to talk to you guys about and see what your thoughts are. And yes, Pastor of Muppets, I agree. The omens do use weird, like, incantation-y things that look like this, including the hornless ones that are fat. They also use like a weird spell like this. They do. So it's something fun to think about, something interesting to consider. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm contending with a lot of conflicting thoughts in my own head, and I'm really tired. 12-hour nursing shifts are the reason why I don't stream much when I'm working. Which is where I've been, by the way. I've been working, which is why I haven't been streaming. I have one more night. I work tonight again, so I'll probably be exhausted tomorrow as well. But then I've got the week off after that, and hopefully I'll be making much better, less exhausted, more coherent content, and be able to kind of share my thoughts more lucidly and yeah, and also be able to engage with you a little bit better, because I feel like Valkyrie was saying so many interesting things that I was just kind of like blah, 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 blah. So I was not engaging as much as she deserved to be engaged with. But anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in, and to the new people, thank you guys for your input and for joining us, and hope you all have a lovely day, and I will speak with you all very soon. Bye everybody.